You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly pop and geek culture show covering movies, TV, games, and comics. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that doesn't go to 11, but we have made 10 louder, so that works.
It feels like cheating, doesn't it?
It does. But I also have this shirt that's a picture of the x-ray of my ribs. No, there'll be a reason for all these Spinal Tap references, but we'll get to it later in the show.
Yeah, and who are you?
Yeah. I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Samantha.
Oh, we have a great show for you this week. Bunch of news to go over. But first, let's talk about some things we've been checking out.
Check it out!
That's fine. We don't need a clip. We don't need a clip. It's all good.
I panicked.
That's
the clip.
Yeah. All right. So what are some stuff you guys been doing this week?
We still can't talk about Doctor Strange. Still too close, probably.
Probably still too close, although I have been spoiled for the entire film.
Oh.
Nice.
Almost beat for beat, every part of the movie, to the point where I probably don't even need to see it, but I will.
You should.
I should
see it.
Yeah, if nothing else, because it's a Sam Raimi movie and the visuals have got to be good.
Yeah, and they are.
They are.
Yeah.
That's one of my check-it-outs.
Oh, nice. But okay, let's do a little more non-spoilery Doctor Strange talk then. Josh, what'd you think?
I liked it.
Yeah.
The villain was unexpected, though looking back on it, I should have expected it.
Yeah.
Given the history of, just comics. But
yeah.
I really like it. Going into it, knowing Sam Raimi, I was looking for all the Sam Raimi-isms.
Oh, sure.
Oh, and it is dripping in it.
Good.
Like crash zooms, all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a montage scene where it's like showing where they're explaining something, and it's straight up Raimi, like Spider-Man movie stuff.
Yeah.
There's one scene that was like, for me, it was like, okay, this is definitely his movie kind of scene. Mm-hmm. And it's like, they're discussing what to do about X villain. And all of a sudden there's like, this like musical twang and like doors start slamming and like funny angles and zooms like on like Doctor Strange's face.
The Dutch angle is very,
yeah, stuff like that.
Cool.
There are a lot of Easter eggs. Like, they're just kind of just littered.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
And it's not just like Marvel comic stuff. I mean, it's like Sam Raimi stuff. And, though the scene of I guess I can say it because it's in one of the trailers.
Yeah, if it's in a trailer, I think at this point it's fair game.
So when he meets the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And all the characters who make up the Illuminati, there were definitely a couple where I'm like, all right. All right.
Yeah.
You mean the ones that didn't get spoiled?
Yeah. But like you said,
by
like
some dumb jerk.
Yeah, but also you didn't spoil me for the actor.
True.
Playing said character.
Yeah.
Which I saw people complaining about, which I think the people who are complaining about it are people who are unable to disconnect him from the character that he plays in show he was on.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really seen other stuff he's done, but I've heard good things about, certain Netflix movie he's in that's very popular and things like that.
Right, yeah. And we've danced as close as we can to this one.
I know. But some of the other references are pretty good. There was one point where I was like, yes.
Okay, cool.
There's a horror movie that he's in that he wasn't bad in, but the movie was bad.
That's kind of what I'm talking about. The mid-credit clip I had to look up because I was like, who's that supposed to be?
Yeah. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I had to look that one up.
Yeah.
And then the end credit is just a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I've
heard the mid-credit, and it's,
I almost like the end credit better when it's a joke than when it's some kind of
tying something in or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the shawarma scene in like the original Avengers.
Yeah, something
like
that's just fun, not something that's to sell you another movie.
Right.
I mean, we've been doing this for 28 movies now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which the first, right before the credits, the very end of the film, there's like a tease moment that made me so mad.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I can say what it is because it's pretty vague. But Doctor Strange walks out in the middle of the street and just grabs his head and yells.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Something's bad. And then it ends. And you think that's just the end of the movie. And it's like, well, no, you can't do that.
No.
Which, I mean, it goes a little further after the mid-credits kind of tampers that a little bit. But initially, I'm like, no.
Visually, the movie is very interesting. There's a lot of color. There's a lot of effects. The scene where they actually enter the multiverse is really cool.
I wish there was more of it.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for it to like come out on like home release or whatever, so I can pause it and catch all the little things.
Yeah, he goes through a whole bunch of multiverses, all of which seem cooler than the ones we actually go to in the film.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, really,
It reminded me a lot like of Into the Spider-Verse a little bit, like how things look different.
honestly, the multiverses they did go to were very tame and not
Weird enough.
Not weird enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when they end up in the one and there's like trees just kind of everywhere and growing out of buildings and stuff, I sat there and I was like, did they go to the Marvel Apes universe? Because that's what it looks like in the...
Yeah.
No, that's just what you wanted.
It is what I want. I wanted the Amazing Spider Monkey.
Oh, sure. Of course. But
Those comics were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't expect it to get too weird because it really doesn't.
There is some real visceral horror-like fights and stuff, though.
There's some very good horror stuff that I liked.
And some things are just kind of gross. But yeah, all in all, I enjoyed the movie. At a little over 2 hours, I didn't think like anything really lulled too much or anything like that.
No.
Okay, that's good.
It felt like it was the length it needed to be.
Yeah.
Not like Batman, where it's like, okay, let's wrap this up.
I mean, I liked the Batman.
Oh yeah, I did too.
I mean, I can't really think of a part where I'm like, eh.
They could have.
I mean, they could have trimmed maybe like 10 minutes.
They
But
could have cut like the whole last like 20 minutes.
anyway, I really like the movie. I can't wait for another.
Yeah, please, sir. I
Oh
want
yeah.
some more.
Sure.
The Cloak of Levitation continues to be my favorite Doctor Strange character.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Though it's not as fun as it was in the first movie, though.
But that's not the kind of movie that they're wanting to
Yeah,
tell.
I know.
You know.
I know.
I do wish America was a little tougher, but I think maybe she's on her way to that.
Well,
Gotcha.
yeah. Well, in the comic, they kind of like she's a younger version because in the comics, when you meet her, she is much older and more.
That's true.
I
Well,
guess.
not much older. She's still a teen.
Yeah, but she's definitely more confident and actually can control her powers.
Yeah.
Sure.
Versus in this movie where she spends most of the movie being the damsel
I think she's earning.
or the MacGuffin.
Oh,
Yeah,
MacGuffin.
I wouldn't say damsel because she's there and she's participating.
But she's definitely the MacGuffin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's the MacGuffin. But yeah, I think she's earning her toughness. I think when we see her again, she'll be more like the America from the comics.
Gotcha. Cool.
And plus, her jacket is just covered in little like references and things like that.
Nice.
More to her character in like comic history versus like things from other things.
And she has two moms.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
she does
it's
in
like
the
in the comics. Yeah.
Oh, that's the. That's kind of a.
But they put an LGBT thing in a Marvel movie that felt a little less like a throwaway. It was better than which one was that? I think it was the second half of the
Endgame.
Yeah, it was Endgame where a man mentions that he's gay, and that's as good as it gets.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, but good movie. I recommend people see it. I don't know. I really can't say too much without really spoiling the movie, and it's
Yeah. Do you think it stands on its own without watching like the 500 Disney Plus Marvel shows there are?
Yes and no. I think you definitely need to watch WandaVision to get to connect a lot of the dots.
Yeah, to get the full breadth of
What's going on.
Wanda's struggle, you should watch WandaVision. But if you haven't seen it, you'll still get
it's
You'll get
kind of explained, but it's
Yeah.
not.
it won't hit the way it's supposed
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Nope. Understood. I got you.
Anyway, let's see here. I guess I could do my other check it out real quick. I watched some episodes of a new anime that came out.
Okay.
to. It's called My Dress Up Darling.
No. It's called Spy Family.
I've been meaning to watch that.
It is super cute, and I really like it. and it's really stylish. Like it kind of reminds me, like it's got like elements of like Lupin the Third.
I'm in.
Right? The crux of it is in this alternate, I'm not even sure it's an alternate history world or just the world they've built that's vaguely 1940, 50s-ish. I mean, there's TVs and they're black and white, but you have this character called Midnight, and he is like the world's greatest spy. Like he's a master disguise, all that stuff. And his mission is he has to get close to this government official or this top guy or whatever. But he has to infiltrate this school, kinda. Yeah, it's school. To get close to him because he's like the head of the school or something like that. But but for his mission, he has to have a family. He has to have a child. He has to have a wife. And there's like a whole entrance exam, and they gauge your whole family. It's a whole thing. And he's like kind of I've been a lone operator my entire life.
I work alone, and now I have to work with this
kid and
people.
this
with
other
Ronaldo, which is all the time.
Good reference.
But then he grows attached, things like that, and I think he kind of grows comfortable in his fake home life. Like he builds this whole persona where he is a psychologist or a doctor of psychiatry. He gets this little girl from an orphanage, but he doesn't know that she was a product of a government experiment and can read minds.
Oh wow, okay.
That's a big twist.
Yeah.
Yep. And she's like all the time like reading his mind and like freaking out about some of the things he thinks about, but he doesn't know that. And she's like, "Why are you acting so weird?" And she's like, I want to watch TV, Daddy." Or Papa. And she's obsessed with peanuts. She loves eating peanuts. It's so weird. Like I can't think of like a food a kid would be obsessed about and think peanuts.
Yeah.
Like peanut butter maybe, but peanuts themselves? But then he has to get a wife and stuff and runs into this girl at a tailor shop. And he doesn't know that she is one of the world's most top assassins.
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the anime.
Kinda.
It sounds like it.
But cute. But cute and fun.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've been meaning to watch it, but
I think I'm like 4 episodes in or whatever Crunchyroll's got.
Yeah, because it just came out. It's brand new.
Yeah, it's brand new. It's been a while since I watched a new anime, but I like it. It's super cute. I've already starting to see like the fandom kind of grow on Twitter and stuff like that. It's really funny. Like Nicole was on Reddit and she was just looking at memes and stuff, and like we had just finished watching the 4th episode, and there was a Spy Family meme, and I was like, "Huh, that was quick."
There you go.
The internet works at lightning speeds, I guess.
Speaking of Doctor Strange,
yes.
After watching the movie, I got the desire to go read some comics.
Oh, cool. All right.
And I obtained like the earliest of early Doctor Strange, and I read like the first 4 or 5 Doctor Strange comics.
What'd you think?
There ever was. They are fun. They're a lot of fun, and they are pretty dumb.
They're goofy.
Yeah.
Visually a trip.
Oh yeah, it's Steve Ditko.
It's Ditko,
good stuff. And it's like 4 out of 5 stories is Mordo going like, "I'm gonna get the ancient one," and then Doctor Strange is like, "No, you're not." And even like the ancient one's like, "Yeah, I know Mordo sucks, but I keep him around so I can keep an eye on him."
An eye of Agamotto.
Yeah. It's just like Batman 66 level stuff.
Nice.
Mixed with like metaphysics. Because they're always like astral projecting, and then their astral projections fight. And like one of them, Mordo traps Doctor Strange in a tube.
Okay.
Or no, he traps his astral projection in a tube. But Strange is like, "You didn't seal the bottom of the tube, so I'll astral project myself all the way through the earth, and then I can go protect the Ancient One." And it's just like stuff that reminds you of like the old Super Friends cartoons.
Oh yeah, it's
that's
like
great.
like stuff from the 70s is so like even the Marvel stuff is so dripping in like the silver age of comics. It's just weird and goofy and it's like, okay.
But I had a lot of fun with it, reading it.
Cool. Yeah, some of those old comics, they're the best. They are the best.
God, old comics are fun.
Don't ever look at Angie's List or Angie just to check something, because they will call you at least 4 times on the phone afterwards.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Jeez.
I just wanted to price something, and I got the price, and then I was done, and then they call you like so many times.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we finish one of the Joe Bob movies?
No.
Joe Bob.
It's a new season of The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs just started a couple weeks ago, and we have not made it all the way through any of the movies that they've done.
Are they all that bad?
Well, kind of. Well, no, because Black Sunday is really cool.
Yeah.
It's an older, like super old Italian, like one of the first Italian horror movies
Oh, okay. Yeah.
ever.
Nice.
It has a lot of cool visual stuff going on. And the only reason we haven't finished that one is because we're old and tired and moving into a new house. The other one that we watched was like, it's got a weird name that basically means cannibal, like Latin for cannibal. It's like Astrophloragus or something.
That's it. Nailed it.
Yeah.
As the cannibals say, that's a mouthful.
Yeah. And it just kind of stinks. But Joe Bob has been fun. He's been his usual movie grandpa self where he rambles on about nonsense between every movie. And like, if in a way that feels like it shouldn't be entertaining, but it is.
But it is. Yeah. And then Darcy, the mail girl, shows up.
And rolls her eyes at
rolls
him
her eyes.
saying something ridiculous. You know, that's the shtick, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a good formula.
Yeah, the other movie was Night of the Living Dead, because it was like their 400th episode or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need to see that movie
Well,
again. I've
yeah.
seen that movie plenty of times.
I love that movie.
It's a fantastic
It's probably
movie.
one of my favorite zombie movies because it's not too much.
They're coming to get
You,
you,
Barbara.
Barbara.
And then, of course, the ending is, always strikes me in a very artistic way, I guess.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Black Sunday opens with them putting a spike mask on a witch being burned at the stake, and they hammer it on her head with a big wooden mallet like the ones from Midsummer that they use to pop the heads.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it was a pretty thrilling opening.
Was it like a
Yeah, it wasn't like super gory because it's an old
movie, sure.
But for the time, there's
Pretty
a
visceral
there's
sounding.
a yeah, it's visceral. That's a good way to put it.
yeah.
was it like kind of like an Iron Maiden like
Man in
Like-
the
like-
Iron Mask.
yeah,
but
yeah.
with spikes on the inside.
yeah like an Iron Maiden.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not the band, the actual torture device.
Not the full size Iron Maiden, just the face.
The Iron Maid.
A mini maiden.
Iron Chibi Moo.
And I got a weird one. I started playing Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus.
Oh man.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's goofy third person shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a third-person shooter starring Vincent Valentine, the side character from Final Fantasy VII that you may not have even.
Yeah, there's a
Unlocked.
good chance you didn't unlock
I mean, I
him.
found him
Yeah.
sleeping in his coffin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like the cutscenes are good, and the animation is really good.
Oh yeah, it came out at that time when they were all about Final Fantasy VII. You had like
For all Advent Children, wasn't it?
yep,
Yeah.
Advent Children. Oh, that PSP game.
which is also good.
What was that called?
Oh, Crisis Core,
Crisis Core.
the
yeah.
Zach game.
Yeah. You know, the actual cloud.
Yeah.
Part of me has wanted to kind of play it just to see, but I'm honestly waiting for the mobile. The what is it?
Oh yeah, they're supposed to come out with
that Final
I forget what
Fantasy
it's called.
complete core or like
Yeah.
Ever Crisis.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a mobile game
Where
that rolls in all the story.
it's all of it in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm kind of waiting for that just to get the whole story.
I don't know why I suddenly wanted to play it, but like because I'd never played it before, and I'm like, well, I'll give it a try. And it's got Kingdom Hearts level production value. It's worth it for the story, and the third-person shooter parts are fine. They're nothing to write home about, but they're not broken. Or I think it just got a bad rap because it was the last thing people wanted at the time.
Yeah.
In a world before there was a Final Fantasy VII remake that existed.
I mean, but also Vincent was a very popular character at the time.
I love Vincent. I think he's
Vincent
so
Valentine
cool.
it's a good good design, good character. You know.
And he
Plus, he turns into a werewolf.
Yeah, he can turn into a werewolf. He can turn into a Frankenstein. He can turn into a Leatherface man.
Yeah,
he's definitely a better character than Yuffie.
I like Yuffie too.
She's fine.
She's also in the game.
Oh, cool.
Like there's more also Kate Seth.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the characters that got the least amount of like character development.
Yeah, the ones that people usually don't care for.
Yeah.
Or don't use.
Don't use. Right.
I mean, I always had Vincent in my party, but I never used Kate Sith because his limit breaks suck.
Yeah, I never used Kate Seth, and I never used Aerith because of obvious reasons.
Because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not investing time in that.
Yeah. I don't know.
She's the best healer in the game.
I always use the main three. I was always Cloud, Barrett, Tifa. I don't know.
Cloud, Tifa, Vincent is how I did most of my last playthrough.
Makes sense.
Cloud, Vincent, Tifa.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
I know.
I think you were like just the main three. I think you were Cloud,
Probably.
Barrett, Tifa.
Yeah. I always used Barrett, but I always made Barrett my white mage. Like, I always gave him more healing than anything else because he can be in the back row because of his gun arm, so he takes less damage without taking the distance penalty.
I like playing my characters against stereotype like that too.
Yeah,
like making a character like Barrett the white mage is always fun. And
yeah, it's always kind of
like, oh, the girl has to be the white mage because it's like no.
Yeah. So I've only done a couple things this week. The only thing outside of Bug Snacks that I've played because I can't stop playing this game.
Because Bug Snacks is destroying your life.
Just like everyone else in the game.
Bruh.
Seriously, I'm to the DLC extra island portion of the game that it takes place before the end of the game. So I'm like I could end the game like now if I wanted to, but there's an extra 4 or 5 hours of extra content to go through. But no, the other thing that I've been doing, based on a conversation that we had earlier this week, I've gone back and watched a lot of the old YouTube comedy series. Hey Ash, what you playing?
Hey,
Been watching a lot of them.
Good stuff.
Did you know that series is almost 10 years old?
Oh no, my bones.
Yeah.
My bones.
Their oldest videos are like 8 years old.
That sounds about right, honestly.
Yeah. So this is like it's a very short form, like 1 to 2 minute kind of sketches based around fictitious versions of Ashley Birch, who is a voice actress now, but at the time was just kind of getting started doing stuff, and her slightly older brother, Anthony Birch, who
we don't talk about.
We don't. The less said, the better.
Failed off the face of the earth.
Yeah, basically. But at the time, he was doing okay. He ended up writing for Borderlands. He did stuff.
I always remember that their BioShock video.
Yeah, that's a good one.
To be fair, he did write for Borderlands when it was good.
That's true.
When the writing was good in the game.
Yeah. So the main conceit is basically they're making commentary about video games while Ashley is kind of a gremlin and torments Anthony, and they've added other more extreme characters. Their dad
is hilarious.
Their dad is almost in every episode. Papa Birch he's the best out of all of them.
It has been so long. Oh, the BioShock video sticks out in my head, and then the Ocarina of Time video always sticks out in my head.
Some of those are really good. Yeah, some of them. I mean, it is early 2000s humor, so there's a lot of stuff that probably wouldn't fly now. Kinda a lot of very crude
There's one about being colorblind that I remember being good.
The color, yeah.
There's the one about Nintendo Land before Nintendo Land existed.
Yeah,
they basically
nailed it.
Yeah, they basically predict Nintendo Land for the Wii U Wii U
for the Wii U, and then also for a partially for the theme park a little bit. Kind of nailed it. But no, it's a lot of fun. I mean, the series ended like 4 or 5 years ago, and they're all on YouTube. as long as you kind of go into it with the mindset that, yeah, some of these jokes are going to age
Poorly. Like milk sitting in the sun.
Yeah, but
the impetus for you going back to this was that State Farm.
it was that State Farm commercial, which
Yeah,
they
it's what
make,
you're
which they
selling.
reference to it.
Yeah,
And-
there is an Ashley Birch State Farm commercial, which is weird, but I guess like go get that money.
Yeah, why
Ash.
not? Might as well. Yeah, yeah,
Hey, Ash, what check you cashing?
kind of.
A big one from State Farm.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jake from State Farm.
They wanted a video game thing like the Gecko has, but they couldn't afford Cuphead or Portal, but they could get Ashley
they
Birch.
could get Ashley Birch. And
Oh, I forgot about the Cuphead commercial with Geico. And I just saw that one, too.
Which Ashley Birch is cooler than...
She's
Gecko.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did a Portal one. That's not relevant.
That's not. Yeah, it's not.
I didn't see that one.
Well, there is. I mean, I love Portal as much as the next person who played video games 10 years ago. But like, it's not relevant
It's
anymore.
not. Yeah.
I mean, most things that Valve put out themselves is not relevant anymore and hasn't
Yeah.
been for a long.
It's
Very
true.
true.
That's like if they would have made like an insurance commercial with Team Fortress 2.
Oh, I bet it's coming. Yeah.
Daddy, who's that?
That's the heavy. And he scratched the engineer's turret.
Why is the Helmet Man yelling?
Didn't the soldier voice actor pass away?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
He had a really fun voice too. For
Oh,
that
I know.
character.
It's used so much, and everybody who ever uses source filmmaking on YouTube.
The Half-Life 2 insurance commercial.
Yep.
Gordon, save money by switching to Geico.
Gordon, the head crab is my life insurance.
All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and take a break here, and when we come back, we'll get into some news.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Dunham, the host of Long Play here on WZMO. Long Play is a show that appeals to music lovers of all ages. Here's an example.
I love long play.
There you have it. A completely unsolicited endorsement for one of our youngest fans.
Grandpa, where's my candy?
Ellie, be cool.
Grandpa!
Ellie and I would like to invite you to tune into Long Play every Friday at 11 p.m. and Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on 104.7
WCMO.
All right, we're back from the break. Let's go ahead and get into some news. Yeah, no clips. It's okay. Let's just go. We have a lot of news.
That transition was buttery smooth. You should be
Buttery
proud of that.
smooth. Yeah, that's it. So let's talk about some stuff. You know what? Let's do some movie news first.
Aight.
You know what? We'll ease into it with Spinal Tap 2.
We got to mention it since that's what the
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they announced that they are making a sequel to the classic mockumentary Spinal Tap, and all three of them: Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Simpsons man Harry Shearer. They're all gonna be there. They're all coming back, and that's cool. I'm surprised they are able to get Harry Shearer out of his apartment. The joke is that he phones all of his Simpsons lines in from his house.
I think Harry Shearer and Harry Styles should have a talk show.
Okay.
Hairstyles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hairstyles. Yeah. There we go. But
Shearer and Styles.
but anyway, yeah. I am curious to see how second Spinal Tap
Man,
goes.
it has been so long since I've watched Spinal Tap. I barely remember it.
Yeah, I think I was in high school when I last saw it.
Yeah. It's a classic. It's a good one.
Well, I know all that. But I'm
Yeah.
like, other than once in a while, like you'll make a reference or something, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's one of the all-time greats, I would say. I don't know if it needs a sequel, though.
Does anything really need
That's
a sequel,
true.
though?
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, these guys, Shearer's pushing 80.
Right?
He's significantly older than the other two, and the other two aren't spring chickens either. So I'm curious to see what kind of, like, is it the haunted casket tour or something like that?
Yeah.
Like a haunted walker tour?
Yeah, they're gonna do like a Rolling Stones kind
Yeah,
of.
something like
But
that.
they're in wheelchair.
I mean, it could
They've
be.
got to get the band back together.
I mean, it could be fun if it's like about their irrelevance.
Yes.
Because metal bands are not really a mainstream
If they're still
thing
doing the
anymore.
shtick in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're doing like their shtick and not like, modern like black metal bands.
Yeah. Oh,
right. Yeah, that's it. They're still doing their glam metal.
Yeah, 2022, and they're still dropping Stonehenge from the
Right.
ceiling.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
And having a bunch of like scarves tied. to
Yeah.
microphones.
And like a bunch of hipsters show up ironically to all their shows kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
It's like, these are our adoring fans. And yeah, it's the same people every concert. And
Yeah.
but they're like, oh no, this band's great. They're so hilarious, that sort of thing. We might have just written the movie right there.
I think we did.
Yeah, but I'm here to watch it. I'll be interested to see how many of the other Christopher Guest stable of actors are going to show up, because he basically pulls the same. I mean, I know the Spinal Tap was done by Rob
Reiner.
Reiner.
Which
Thank you.
he's attached to this too, I think.
Good. But Christopher Guest, he wrote and directed a lot of the Best in Show,
A Mighty
and A Mighty Wind.
Wind.
A Mighty Wind might as well have been backdoor Spinal Tap 2, because one of the folk bands are the three of them. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to see how it goes. I think it's going to be
Will we
interesting.
get Eugene Levy in there?
I hope so.
He's one of the guests.
He is.
I mean,
Squad.
he seems like he does just about anything.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I mean, he'll pop up in random things,
Yeah.
and he just does not seem like he's above, just doing goofy stuff.
He's in that buy a car ad with his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Other movie news. So Christopher Walken is going to be the Emperor of the Universe in Dune 2.
The Space Emperor of Space.
The Emperor of Space in Dune 2, Electric Boogaloo Dune.
Nice.
Thank you.
I haven't read far enough in Dune to know anything about the Emperor of Space, the Prince of Space, if you will.
Prince of Space. Your lasers have no effect.
Your weapons are useless.
As a big sci-fi nerd, he ain't my Emperor of Space.
All I really know about it is in the Jodorowsky failed attempt at it, the character was going to be played by Salvador Dali. And that's pretty weird. Like 80s Salvador Dali, so like very old man Salvador Dali, and
But that version of Dune had little to nothing to do with the actual
very
Dune.
little. Yeah,
I think
that's
Jodorowsky
true.
didn't even read it. I thought, yeah.
Someone explained it to him a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, nope, got it."
Yeah. Which that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, kind of like a side note, but not really related to anything. I read in an article where Sam Raimi didn't even finish WandaVision.
Yeah, I read that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
they explained to him the broader points of
broader points,
WandaVision.
and-
He's like, "That's good."
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah. The only thing I could say about Walken and Dune is that he definitely, I mean, he has plenty of practice walking without rhythm. Because of that
Fat Boy Slim.
Fat Boy Slim
Yeah.
song with the line from Dune in it.
That's true.
That
You just
walk
drew
without-
a direct line
Uh-huh.
from Walking to Dune.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Walking to Dune.
Walking to Dune.
Walking on the beach. Doot, doot, doot.
But yeah, he's a good actor. There's no reason why he can't be the
I won't necessarily say he's a good actor. He's
Wow.
a fun actor.
yeah.
The spice.
He must flow.
Gotta get it. Can't believe it. Love the spice.
So speaking of movies that didn't need sequels,
Okay.
Avatar 2: Way of Water has just had a trailer
Wow,
drop.
so wet. Can't believe it. Blue cats. Yes.
I saw the trailer to this before Doctor Strange, and it was boring.
Yeah, I watched the trailer just online when it dropped, and like, Yeah, it looks like more Avatar.
They don't even tell you what the plot is. It's just a lot of sweeping
but
shots of
that's
beautiful
good
cats.
for a first trailer, though. Is like just letting you know the setting, I guess. But
we know.
I mean,
this-
too many trailers do spoil too much of movies.
True.
yeah,
But it's Avatar. We know the setting. That's what the first movie was about.
yeah, it's hard to spoil a movie when there's no plot.
Yeah. They can spoil as much as they want because nobody cares.
Someone out there
See,
cares. There's one man that
I-
cares, and his name is James Cameron.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I really liked the first movie. I felt like
It was a technical marvel,
Oh,
but the
yeah.
plot and story was lacking.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's Last of the Mohicans meets Ferngully in space.
Smurfs.
Smurfs.
Yeah,
Smurfs joke here.
yeah, and like, it told its story.
Smurf cats. Andrew Lloyd Webber's Smurf cats.
Does that mean we're going to get a butthole cut of Avatar 2?
It's bad enough they got those weird braid tentacle things.
Yeah, less said about those scenes, the better.
Forgot about that.
Yeah,
I can never forget.
It's burned into my retinas.
I never watched far enough into the movie to see that.
Yeah, no, you're missing something. The thing I'm interested in is I looked at the cast list for this, and it has Stephen Lang, evil grumpy space marine man, is in this movie, and I'm wondering how is that possible? Because I'm pretty sure he got killed by blue cats at the end of the first one.
Oh yeah, he got like a giant arrow like right through his chest.
He got very killed by the blue cats, and yet here he is in the second one,
Maybe,
which is good. He's a great actor.
Oh yeah, but maybe he's either like a computer program or he's just in videos.
That was just his avatar that was killed.
Oh, sure, that's what it is. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. But no, speaking of Stephen Lang,
What if they like sidelight, like in the movie, like they say, oh no, as he was dying, his mind was transferred into an avatar.
He's a
He
big
got
blue
better.
cat.
He
he
got
got blue catted.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie that he's in? It's a thriller movie. I forget what it's called, but he's like a blind guy, and people living by himself, and a bunch of people.
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe. That's
It's
it.
a very good movie.
It's really good. So it's
I've heard about that.
Yeah,
I've heard
blind
about that
guy. A
movie.
bunch of people break into his house to steal a bunch of stuff.
I'm thinking
you
he's
find
an
out
easy mark 'cause
He's an
he's
easy
blind.
mark because he's blind, but he knocks out the power to his house so no one can see, and he is like a trained like military killer, and it's this blind guy hunting.
So he's
these-
like Rambo meets the Force monk from Rogue One.
He's like an 80-year-old blind Rambo hunting a bunch of people, but they can't see, and it's like he's in his element.
And it takes a really dark turn at the
Yeah.
end.
Sure does.
Oh boy.
Sure does. Yeah, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah,
Definitely
it
worth
is.
checking out.
But yeah, like the first, like I said, I like the first movie. It told its story though. It really didn't need a sequel. It definitely doesn't need more sequels because James Cameron wants to do more.
He's got at least 8 in
I
the
know.
tank.
And now it's water because he's also obsessed with things being underwater,
Mm-hmm.
which if he likes underwater so much, why doesn't he just make movies for fish so we do not have to watch them?
Well, I mean,
That just reminds me of the joke from Metalocalypse where they made a whole album for fish.
yeah, that's it. Yep. There's the joke.
I mean, not that James Cameron hasn't made good. He's made plenty of.
He's
good
made
movies.
a lot of very good movies, and he's earned, enough cachet in Hollywood to
do whatever he wants.
he wants. And unfortunately, what he wants is blue cats, or green cats. There are actually green cats in this trailer now too. They're aqua green.
Yeah, well, I mean that kind of makes sense.
That's
This is the way of the water.
That's the water
There's
cats.
a wet cat.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's a terrible joke there. Let's steer clear of that one.
Yep.
This is a family show.
Yep. So other movie stuff. There's a first trailer for Hideaki Anno's Shin Kamen Rider. This is probably for the 4 of us in this room, but
Yeah, you've watched Kamen Rider. You
Yeah.
know Kamen Rider.
yeah.
I love Kamen Rider. And and I like Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I liked Shin Godzilla, and I'm sure I'll love Shin Ultraman.
He's
On a Shin roll.
It's a lot of practical effects.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it looks really, really good.
Oh yeah,
I have nothing else to say.
And it's pulling
Yeah.
so much from classic Kamen Rider, it's
I
ridiculous.
don't think Hideki Anno has ever made anything I did not like.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I've even watched a lot of what is that, Nadia of the Blue Water? Like his really old anime series he was involved with, and that's good.
yeah. Well, if you want to see him take a stab at Tokusatsu, live action Tokusatsu stuff, he did
The Cutie Honey movie?
Cutie Honey the Live. Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed Cutie Honey the Live.
yeah, it's really good. So let's see some of the other stuff on here. How much do we want to get into this Disney copyright thing?
Not too deep.
Yeah. So there is at the very most surface level of this news article, because if we get any deeper, it's going to take a turn. So there is a legislature in Congress that is going through, that has been proposed, rather, that may cause Disney to lose the copyright to Mickey Mouse and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it'll affect basically anything.
Anything that's over like 100 years old.
Yeah,
Or close to that.
It's shortening the copyright time from 95 years down to 56.
Which it only got extended because Disney lobbied for it to begin with.
I'm not saying that Disney shouldn't have this stuff done, but the reasoning behind it that we will not get into on this show is not the right
way to do it.
Yeah, it's a good thing for the wrong reasons.
But I still don't support it because the wrong reasons are so wrong.
Yeah. I like when things roll into the public domain. I think it's good for art. It's good for creative people.
I agree, but this is not the right way to do it.
Look at all the fun stuff that you get because when Sherlock Holmes fell into the public domain.
That's true. But again, it's the nefarious reasoning behind it is enough to make me go, no, I think I would rather have. Let's let them hang on to copyright for a little bit longer, and then if it comes out, if it gets, man, I don't know how to go into this.
I think we've said pretty much all we can really say about it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe this will, even whatever happens, maybe this will let Disney think and go, maybe we shouldn't be so hard on maybe like independent artists and stuff for small things.
Yeah,
perhaps.
I think artists could do so many fun things with Mickey Mouse if he was in the public domain. Even
or Oswald the Rabbit.
Yeah, even if it was just like the old version of Mickey Mouse falls into like how Sherlock Holmes is only partially in the public domain. There's a certain point in Holmes's like continuing plotline where if you go past it, then you're not in the public domain anymore.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean this would affect a whole bunch of other stuff, including like Superman and like
Batman.
Yeah,
it would affect a lot of things.
The people that are proposing this are using a sledgehammer to try to drive a nail,
and not caring what kind of damage it's going to cause.
And again, I agree with you that I like things when they go into the public domain. I do. I just don't think this is the right time or the right way for it, I guess.
Yes.
Anyway, let's talk about more fun things. How about this movie about a cocaine bear?
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
Good actress, lady, and director and producer.
Yeah.
Is making a movie about a bear that eats a bunch of cocaine that fell out of an airplane.
Yeah, it's based on an
event that happened.
A real thing that happened in 1985, I believe. I believe it's 85.
It's the 80s. Cocaine was falling out of everything.
A drug runner jumped out of a plane. His parachute didn't open. He,
passed away. And all of his 70 pounds of cocaine he was carrying also disappeared, only to be found in a 175-pound black bear.
Now, in real life, the bear just died, but I imagine that's not what's going to happen in the movie.
Yeah, I imagine there's going to be it's going to be a very different story that's going to happen to this cocaine bear, which that's what the movie's called as of right now.
Cocaine bear.
Yeah. I mean, it's short to the point.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of some kind of pun that would make a better title.
Cocaine bear should fight Russian military bear.
Wait, that one from that weird Russian superhero movie with the werebear guy?
From real life, real Russian military bears.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, there were in Red Alert 3. I don't know how real they were. And the bear is the Russian symbol.
Yeah. So, other good news, James Hong celebrated character actor, finally got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Long overdue.
Very long overdue. His career has spanned like
years.
Oh, jeez.
And if you've
forever.
heard a stereotypical older Asian man, voice in something, 9 times out of 10, it's him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, he's Poe's Duck Dad in the Kung Fu Panda movies, including the new Kung Fu Panda thing coming out on Netflix called The Dragon Knight.
Because Netflix only wants to fund DreamWorks animated things now.
Yep.
Pretty much, which gives me hope of more Shrek. But anyway.
Shrek. Shrek is in
The Pentaveret.
The Pentaveret.
We've been watching The
Forgot
Pentaveret.
about that.
We should have talked about it on the Check It Out.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
It sucks, but like
Don't hate it.
in a way that's at least fun.
Yeah, so this is Mike Myers' newest thing.
It's like the multiverse of Mike Myers' mind.
Kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a story about a secret society that's run by 5 people, 4 of which are Mike Myers.
Uh-huh.
And they're like the Illuminati, but they're nice and they try to help the world instead of, twist it to their whim. And that's about it. And weird stuff happens. And Mike Myers is most of the Pentaveret. He's also a Canadian news reporter who
He plays the main character. He's the journalist.
who usually does like dumb puff pieces, but he's going to lose his job, so he decided, I'm going to expose the Pentaveret, and then I'll get to keep my job.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's dumb as all get out.
And Shrek kind of shows up.
Yes. Well, it's Shrek. It's a mascot suit of Shrek, and Mike Myers does the
He
voice.
does the voice, yeah. Did you know that the Pentaveret is a pseudo spinoff of How I Married an Axe Murderer? His first movie.
What?
Is it?
His parents in How I Married an Axe Murderer are always reading a Weekly World News knockoff or something like that, and talking about conspiracies and stuff. And one of the conspiracies they talk about is the Pentaveret.
Really?
Yes.
It has been decades since I've watched that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a classic. It's a good one.
I mean, yeah, it's back before, it was back when Mike Myers, was still funny.
Oh, he still is.
Yeah.
I mean, don't go into it expecting like smart jokes.
Well, yeah.
Also, it's Mike Myers.
Yeah. It's just some of the goofiest junk that you'll ever see in a half hour.
So, Austin Powers,
Yeah.
chopped down.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm afraid to say it's good, but also I
Can't stop watching
I
it.
also like
Enjoy
it.
I'm not proud of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it just because it's dumb fun?
It's a guilty pleasure, if
Gotcha.
anything.
Yeah, nice.
So anyway,
Nice.
so back to James Hong.
Back to James Hong. One thing I like about James Hong, one of my favorite things, like bits of trivia, he apparently, one of the first things he did was the Americanization of the original Godzilla.
Okay.
Not only was he an extra in a handful of scenes, between him and like one other guy, they dubbed that entire movie.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like 3 of the main characters in the American version of Godzilla.
Who's the American guy they added in?
Raymond Burr.
Raymond Burr, that's who it was.
Yeah.
He also comes back as the same character in Godzilla 1980,
Yes.
which was
Intrepid reporter Steve Martin.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
His name's
Yep.
Steve Martin. He's
He
a
is
wild and crazy news reporter.
There it is.
So James Hong got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which is interesting because this month is Pacific Islander and Asian Appreciation Month. I think that's what the full title is.
Yeah.
Which I feel like was very done on purpose. But again, he is in so many things that I love so much. Like, he's Lopan.
That's the big one.
Yeah, he's Lopan. He is the main
From,
villain and the most quotable thing from that dumb movie. Well, that and, half the stuff that, Kurt Russell says.
Yeah. Big Trouble in Little
Big
China.
Trouble
So
in Little
great.
China. Yeah, it's a great movie.
So good. So
Oh,
good.
yeah, I love that movie.
Yep.
I mean, he's Jackie Chan's uncle in Jackie Chan Adventures.
We talked about that.
And we did, like last week.
We talk about that show a lot.
Yeah.
For a show I haven't watched in a very long time.
Right?
we would be remiss as a nerd media outlet to not let you know that they did select a new Doctor Who.
They did, yes.
It's a Rwandan actor named Shudigatwa.
Yep, that's it.
I know nothing about this man.
He is in a show called Sex Education.
Yes.
Which I've heard is very good.
I've heard is good, but I know nothing about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I've heard he's good in it, and I'm looking forward to seeing him as the new Doctor.
And they continue, with the last Doctor they had, continuing the whole, making the Doctor more diverse.
Continuing to break barriers. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've ever, it's weird to say the new series of Doctor Who because it's been going for like 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
But they haven't picked a bad one yet. They've all been very good.
They've all been pretty good.
I mean, the writing has suffered in a few seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
but
the actors themselves have been good, just the writing's been
Yep,
trash.
But
That's
Russell
exactly
T
what it
Davies
is.
is coming back. for
Yes,
this
Russell
one,
T. Davies,
so-
the golden child of the new age of Doctor Who,
so
has returned
it's
home.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Because Russell wrote all the stuff, people love, like all the David Tennant stuff.
Yep.
I heard a rumor. It's being rumored, so don't take this as fact. But it's been based on some tweets and some Instagram posts, I guess, that Edgar Wright is going to direct the 60th year anniversary episode.
Really? Oh, interesting. That'll be fun.
I mean, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost have both made appearances in Doctor Who.
Nick Frost was Santa
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, yeah.
And Simon Pegg was a weird TV station satellite cult man. That's a weird episode.
But I'm always excited for more Doctor Who.
Sure.
I feel
This
bad.
might be the one that grabs me and gets me to actually watch it.
I feel bad because I have not watched Doctor Who in a while. Like, I didn't see any of the Jodie stuff.
There's good Jodie episodes, and then there's mediocre Jodie
I mean,
episodes.
it was like that with Peter Capaldi, too.
Yeah.
Like, Peter Capaldi is a phenomenal actor. And
Oh, yeah.
He was such a good doctor.
Oh, I know.
He was doing so much with what little
They gave
quality
him.
they
Giving
gave
him.
him.
Yeah.
But he could nail a doctor speech like nobody's business.
I mean, barring like the first couple episodes where they were trying to find their footing and they were doing weird stuff like cartoony sound effects. And
Oh, the clown hammer?
the clown
Yeah.
hammer sound. Yeah. Like freaking Amy Rose bopping somebody in freaking Sonic. But, yeah. Oh, God, I forgot. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Now it's
Yeah.
ringing in my head and I hate it.
Yep.
And his guitar and Sonic sunglasses. That was good stuff.
Good
I like
stuff.
the Sonic sunglasses.
Yep. All right, so we just have a couple minutes left. There was a Nintendo Indie World. We can't go through all of the games that were there, but
But I wrote them all down.
You wrote them all down, but we're running
Yeah.
running short. So let's just kind of hit some of the highlights here. Ooblets.
Ooblets is coming to the Switch. It's been out on PC.
A lot of these games have already been
Yeah.
out on PC.
And it's very good. I played a lot of it when it was in
Me
early
too.
access.
This looks like Animal Crossing Pokemon dance battles
Yes, with Stardew Valley.
with Stardew Valley. Yeah.
Well, I guess Animal Crossing has a lot of farming in it now too.
Yeah.
But it's very good if you like those kind of chill games. It definitely hits that vibe perfectly.
I mean,
Good.
I feel like we need more chill games.
Yeah.
Could use it.
Leckhead looked really cool.
Leckhead, yeah.
This is a one-man development team making a puzzle platformer about a little electric robot boy who, when he stands on different platforms, he electrifies them, and that changes things, and he can throw his head and solve puzzles. And it looks very, very good.
It looks like a really good puzzle game. Yeah.
Kind of like Box Boy
yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, very much like that. Gunbrella.
Gunbrella looks very much like my kind of jam. It's a 2D platformer with pixel graphics about a gruff, I think they said woodsman who has a weapon called the Gunbrella, which is a gun and also umbrella.
And the umbrella's a shield, and he can use it to like grapple onto stuff.
And
Yeah.
float and things like that.
It looks very much like Shovel Knight in the way that the developers came up with a weapon and thought of every cool way you could use it in a video game.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, last one we really want to touch on here.
Do we want to talk about the crab one?
Yeah, let's talk about the crab one.
Yeah, another
crab's treasure.
Yes, it is a Souls-like that they were calling a Shells-like, where you're a hermit crab that can switch. Well, his original shell got repossessed, so you are on a quest to pay back and get your original shell back. but you go through and get different shells that have different defensive capabilities.
Yeah, and you're like a bipedal crab that
You're-
is like fighting stuff.
Yeah, you're a
and-
hermit crab.
Yeah.
with a sword
Yeah.
or whatever.
And then you fight other crabs and
Things.
explore an underwater world that looks really cool and cartoony.
It's also seems really, really cool. They're really
Yeah.
creative. So yeah, there's more there, but if you want to go check out the Nintendo Indie YouTube video, it was like 20 minutes long or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
not one of their more exciting.
Not exactly. The indie ones are usually not the most exciting.
This wasn't even the most exciting of indie worlds. I didn't think.
Yeah, but it's cool that that Nintendo is still working to kind of promote
Indie games,
Yeah.
which is
and
one of the
stuff
things
like
I've loved about ever since the Switch came out.
Yeah.
Because there for a while, it seemed like the only platform a lot of indie games had was Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes the gangbusters for indie developers to put a game on the Switch.
It
so
does.
that's good.
Yeah, because Valve,
Yeah,
rates people over the coals.
Yeah, they take their 30%.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's real dumb. It's
Yeah.
a real dumb
Yeah.
thing.
Yep. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap things up for the week. You have been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Patreon, and TikTok at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
You can give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline. The number's 586-372-8020. Leave us a message on our voicemail, and we might play it on the show. That one got kind of away from me.
That's all right. You can also find all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. And finally, I'd like to thank David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Pizza out.